Hi everyone, it is Stick the Eagle here, and if it looks like I'm wearing the same clothes I did in my last video, it's because I'm filming a few of these videos right before I head out on my next adventure, so don't blame me for wearing the same thing. Now let's get right into the video. A lot of you guys have asked me on various Antarctica videos, who did you book through? I'm interested in potentially going to Antarctica myself, and I think that's great that you're interested, that you may be interested in going to Antarctica yourself, that my journey could maybe inspire you to also have an incredible adventure. So I definitely support you looking into it and going. If you can put aside a few $1,000s or something, I think it's well worth your time making one of these adventures yourself. So without further ado, the people who made it possible for me to go to Antarctica without that much worry of what was going to happen or if things would work out was called Swoop Antarctica. Swoop Antarctica has a website, and let's see if I can get the title for you. The title is simply Swoop, SWOOP hyphen Antarctica. Remember the C, it's ANTARCTICA.com. So swoop-antarctica.com if you're interested in looking at Antarctica, or even just Swoop Adventures, because they do other adventures other than Antarctica as well. But it was Swoop Antarctica made the entire trip very organized for me. I did research at the beginning, way back 2 years ago, and that's when I decided that I would go through this organization. And they actually booked the trip for me through Oceanwide Expeditions. So Oceanwide Expeditions was the company who hosted the boat, but Swoop Antarctica was the tour company that paired me with Oceanwide Expedition. So it's kind of 2 in 1 here, and they both do trips. They both organize trips. You could either book directly through Oceanwide. They do give out discounts for last minute trips, or if you're planning farther ahead, go through Swoop. Like I said, Swoop kept the trip very organized. They made sure I had all the information that I would need. This included emergency contact information, which I used on the way back when my flights changed, which, as you know, if you watch my last day 16 video, that I really needed that transfer. I don't know what I would have done if I did not have that contact information, that WhatsApp number for that transfer that Swoop Antarctica made sure I had in an email before my trip. And I printed it out just in case I needed it, and I did. So they made sure I had all that information in case I dealt with an unexpected emergency of sorts. Although I did have a few worries, everything occurred exactly as I was told it would, from the private transfer booking between airports to the luggage drop-off and the boarding of the ship. Obviously, when Aerolíneas Argentinas decided to change the flight, that's not their fault. That's Aerolíneas Argentinas. When they went to a different airport, they can't do anything about that, but they helped me to be prepared for when something did happen about that. So they gave me the resources that I need. And we also got to see everything that we wanted to see. Now, you can't always do this, but they didn't overpromise. They really underpromised, I could say. As the expedition leader said, the one thing that she wasn't sure we would see was the Southern Lights, because you obviously can't really control that, but they were pretty sure, because the trip was called South of the Antarctic Circle and Wilkins Ice Shelf, they were pretty sure they could get to those 2 places. Obviously, extenuating circumstances, sometimes that can change, but the crew of Oceanwide really wanted to get to those places, really wanted all of these things to happen. They weren't just working because they had to work. They were really excited in this mission as well on this Oceanwide boat, Ortelius. So not only did we see everything that we wanted to see, but we had guides who cared about showing us everything they could when it came to wildlife and Antarctic features. I could tell that they were perhaps even more excited than we were in certain occasions. Like some of the times we saw a new penguin, they're like, a new penguin! Or when we crossed the Antarctic Circle, if you watch that video in the middle of the night, when we crossed the Antarctic. So our guide's like, we crossed the Antarctic Circle, and then she's like, don't be too excited, guys, sarcastically, because we were kind of trying to be quiet because we were on the bridge, so we knew we were supposed to not make too much noise, but then we were given permission to be. She's like, come on, be more excited. It was great. The staff was great. On the Zodiacs, I felt safe at all times. The drivers did not drive too fast. They told us when we could stand or when we had to sit. They also always warned us when you might have an impact with land or an iceberg, or if we were about to do a sharp turn, so that we made sure we were ready for that change in direction or change in force on the boat. And when boarding and disembarking, we did it in an organized manner of only one person at a time, and every passenger understood the process because we did this training of how to board and disembark a Zodiac on day one before we even left the Beagle Channel. We did that training. They told us exactly what to expect. So that's great for Oceanwide. The Oceanwide's the ones that actually ran this. Swoop Antarctica is just the one that booked me, but I like Swoop Antarctica because they helped me find a really good company to do this with in Oceanwide. I would totally sail with Oceanwide again. The expedition team was also very knowledgeable and friendly. A special shout out to Charlotte for going above and beyond to get us an absolutely incredible whale encounter on that last Zodiac cruise. When you book with Swoop, they will make sure that everything is taken care of for you, including transfers, emergency resources, like I said, and all the information that you need. If I were to offer a piece of advice, it would be to bring some ski goggles for the wind, especially good for the Zodiacs right on the water. I had those ski goggles that you saw me with, and it really did come in handy. The wind can get pretty cold, and you want to have your skin protected from it. I think I gained an extra 30 to 60 minutes of being comfortable in the outside because I had those goggles, and it wasn't like the wind rushing behind my glasses, making me cold, and having less exposed skin. It also helped with the UV rays because they're brighter down there, and the sun is shining off all the snow, so it was very bright, so it worked as a pair of sunglasses too. So it was really a win-win having those ski goggles, really any kind of ski goggles. I just got my pair off Amazon, doesn't really matter, but I think the one tip that I would give for going on this trip is definitely to bring something like that, because you're there to be outside and appreciate the wildlife, not to just be hiding on the boat because you got too cold. Yeah, you can get too cold, and it does happen. It happened to me. I wanted to be on the boat. I didn't want to be out on storms, but I also wanted to be outside when we could be outside. And between the double pair of socks that I learned and those goggles, I think those allowed me to be outside for a lot longer than I would have been comfortable being if I did not have those. And of course, layers, layers, layers. Waterproof layers. I wore 2 or 3 pairs of pants depending on the cold, like thin, skin tight. Well, not really skin tight, but thin leggings, like hiking leggings as a base layer, and then a thicker pair of pants, and then a thicker pair of pants on top of that is a waterproof layer. You could always take layers off, but once you're out there, you can't put more layers on. That's why I carried my backpack with me too, because if I were to get too warm, then I could take a layer off. But you can't put things down in the snow. That's the only problem. You have to be holding on to it because they don't want to bring anything or to leave anything in Antarctica. So anyway, if you are thinking of booking a trip to Antarctica, check out Swoop Antarctica. I highly recommend them. So thank you for joining on this trip, and next we'll talk about, next video, we'll talk about the adventure that I'm about to embark on right after recording this video. See you tomorrow.